Aloha mai kako. My name is Colin Kippen and I'm running for OHA trustee. I'm challenging the present chair, Haunani Apoliona, because of her callous disregard for the needs of Hawaiian people. Her outrageous spending on lobbyists and mainland junkets while Hawaiians here in Hawaii suffer, and her deceptive tactics regarding OHA's Kauinoa registration project. I am challenging her to defend her actions in a public debate because all Hawaii voters are in the dark and want to know what is going on at OHA. OHA has spent millions of dollars annually on slick advertising, commercials, and mainland initiatives to get people to sign up on Kauinoa. They have attempted to sell Hawaiians on this idea, telling them that Kauinoa is completely independent of the federal recognition bill, presently before the Congress. When asked the question, what is OHA's role? OHA has answered, OHA is a facilitator only, providing funding and logistical help. OHA's leadership intends to support, not direct, this community-driven effort. And I quote that information. These statements are far from the truth and were intended to dupe Hawaiians into signing up on OHA's Kauinoa registry. My intention is to rip away OHA's veil of secrecy created by Apoliona's leadership, so that light can shine in. In January 2007, under Apoliona's leadership, in executive session, Apoliona submitted and discussed an action item requesting that the Akaka bill be amended to automatically enable individuals on the Kauinoa list to become part of the Native Hawaiian governing entity established under the Akaka bill. We are in the dark here, and we have some questions. Why did the discussion of this occur in executive session, with only the vote occurring after the OHA board came out of that session? Why couldn't this discussion about converting Kauinoa rosters to become part of the Akaka bill rosters be held in an open, public session? What was Apoliona trying to hide? Why did OHA, under Apoliona's leadership, continue to maintain, even after adopting this so-called confidential action item, that Kauinoa and the Akaka bill are separate, even though at that very moment OHA was secretly attempting to amend the Akaka bill so that Kauinoa registrants could automatically become part of the registrant rolls under the Akaka bill? Why did OHA, under Apoliona's leadership, engage in these actions to change the language of the Akaka bill while misleading Hawaiians by saying that OHA only intended, and I quote, to support and not direct this community-driven effort? Why has Apoliona, as OHA's chair, never confessed about OHA's failed attempt to merge the Kauinoa rosters and the Akaka bill rosters, even though it is now obvious that that was always her intent? And finally, why did OHA attempt to mislead and deceive Hawaiians in this fashion? OHA has created a public expectation that the Kauinoa registration records are confidential and under the protection, possession, and control of another organization called Hawaii Maoli, a nonprofit arm of the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs. Attached emails, and I have provided them and they are now in the public, demonstrate that OHA staff routinely had access to confidential Kauinoa registrations. In fact, it appears that all OHA had to do was ask, and these confidential registrations would be immediately provided to them, OHA, without any questions being asked. We are in the dark here and have a number of questions. First question, why was OHA given access to these confidential records by Hawaii Maoli? How often was access provided, and for what purposes? Did Hawaii Maoli obtain the consent of the Kauinoa registrants before turning over their names to OHA? If and when access was granted by Hawaii Maoli to OHA, what were the steps taken to document the information conveyed and the purposes for which the information was sought? Where are these records of access granted? And how can we as public members access this information to find out whose information was given by Hawaii Maoli to OHA? Why was Hawaii Maoli so compliant with the requests by OHA staff? How much has OHA paid Hawaii Maoli, and for what purposes? How many times has Hawaii Maoli's contract been extended by OHA? Had Hawaii Maoli objected to these requests for information, what is the likelihood that they would have been fired by OHA? Why hasn't OHA told Kauinoa registrants that their records are not confidential and that OHA staff have free and unfettered access to them whenever they want? The examples in this press conference are merely the tip of the iceberg and are symptomatic of a manipulative, cynical, and deceitful style of leadership at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs that is no longer working. Voters are in the dark and want answers. I continue to call on Apoliona to answer these questions in a public forum with me. It is time for change. The documents that I have referred to will be available on the internet as I have released them with this press conference. Thank you very much, and mahalo for listening. Aloha.